On this episode, we talk about working at a startup, launching a wholesale business in 2018, and how to create viral videos. Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 16 of the AskEngine show. My name's John.
My name's John.
And I'm Blake.
I'm the better John.
No. False.
We're really excited to come back to you today. We haven't really had a lot going on this week, just kind of head down work, which has been really good. Really need a lot of weeks like this. Blake's going on vacation on Friday.
Disney World,
Disney World.
So all progress on the engine
Just
roadmap
halts
stops
immediately.
Yeah.
Just delays it a week. That's
I'm going to be like
selfish of
checking
you.
my phone in line and stuff. Oh, yeah.
So what's the first question? What do we got today?
Yeah, first question is it a good idea for me to start my junior career at a startup? So not a big corporation or anything like that.
Yes. Next question. No, with qualifications.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So here's the benefits, and then let me just give you the benefits. So the benefits are this. You're going to have an outsized title that you don't deserve. You're going to have a set of work responsibility that likewise you don't deserve. And if the startup is successful, let's say it's got 5 people now when you join and it grows to 12, you're probably going to grow with that, and you'll probably have management responsibilities once it grows to 30 or 40 folks. So, and you won't deserve those either, but no one else around you, you will. So if you want to go be an intern at Procter & Gamble and look at how many units of cereal was sold in one particular Walmart in South Florida, go do that. If you want to be a early employee at a startup, your job responsibility may literally be director of marketing or something similar to that. So no, I think for the most part it's a really good thing. There are some caveats though.
So what if I qualified as what if it's an unpaid job at a startup?
So then that's an interesting thing. So if it's completely unpaid, then it's just like an internship, and that's not super sustainable. Yeah, do it for a couple, 3 months if it's an entree to get a real job, and you can build your portfolio or your resume. If they're offering you plain equity for that, look at it as $0, because most startups fail unless you've got a multiple time successful startup founder. Most of them are going to fail. Even us. I mean, here we are at Engine. I mean, what am I, 4 out of 7 in my career? That means we've got like a 50% chance, maybe a little better if we're lucky. So yeah, that qualifies it a little bit. Just, what are your responsibilities? Are they more than you would ever dream to have at a real job? And if so, go do it, especially if the pay is, enough to buy ramen noodles and pay your rent. So.
Well, I think it's also a measure of how do you work best. If you need a ton of structure in a job, if you need someone who clearly defines your role and it doesn't change.
Why are you here? Because you had this route. You were running your own agency. You could have easily gone to do the Procter route, higher up than the one store with one. Why are you here?
So for me, very personal decision. So to give you all context, ran an agency, paid media acquisition, mainly for e-commerce, and started to get to know these guys. And through that series of engagements, conversations, I really thought that I could add a lot to the team here. Was lucky enough to be offered a position, and quite frankly, for me, it's a step back to take 2 steps forward. Mm-hmm. From a pay perspective, it's a step back, but from a working with people who are much smarter than me, much more educated, mentorship, and being a part of a team that is going to move incredibly fast, I was bought into the thesis of the company, and I was bought into the team behind the company. And so for me, it's a blessing to be able to join. It's a blessing to be able to join a company of what I consider some of the best practitioners in the state, if not the South. And so
when we scale to 30 employees, you have that same kind of vision.
Yeah,
you're going to be probably 2 levels. I mean, you're running marketing for us. So you'll be 2 levels higher than that with a team of teams if we scale to that point. So.
And and this is the thing, when you join a startup, you have to be okay with it failing. and understand that it's nothing but positives are going to come with that. You don't want it to.
Yeah, you can't be okay with that.
You've got to have that conversation though. And for me, if this company literally did nothing, I would still be better by being here and learning and just absorbing being around people like y'all.
You can't be okay with it. Your wife has to be okay with it. So.
Very true.
All right, what's next?
Sure.
I want to
we
cap
could stay
this
on
off.
this for hours. This
I
is
want to
really-
cap this
uh-oh.
off though.
Uh-oh.
Talking about titles, don't give the CEO of your company the job to name your title.
I
That's
thought you
true.
did a good job.
Well, it was really good. I mean, we signed off on it
Yeah.
as the ownership team.
official.
Underling.
Underling,
That was
yes.
officially on his stock option grant. Underling. I thought
Underling.
it was good. It wasn't even capitalized, if I remember
It
correctly. It
was
was
all
like all
lowercase,
lowercase.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just kinda
Okay,
scribbled.
Underling. Okay.
Next question.
Next question is, this person is launching their wholesale retail phone repair business soon.
Ooh.
And they're saying, with a very limited marketing budget, should I target individual consumers or businesses?
The not knowing much. I've got the Dream Crusher hat on because, I don't. If you don't know your go-to-market and you're going to do this, that seems like a really broad ask of a question to dive in and start. So am I going to wholesale or retail? I mean, those are not just completely different businesses. They are miles apart. One's a B2B structure where you're, and the other is a mass marketing B2C type play, both with pretty entrenched competitors. So, I don't know anything else other than, gosh, my Dream Crusher hat just magically floated up to my head. Because, I just don't know that that's a really good idea. But let's reframe it and take off the Dream Crusher hat, because I was told that when I pull the hat out, I have to build up afterwards, which I hate. I think you should just crush dreams and move on. But so let's make a couple assumptions.
Okay.
He owns a cell phone repair shop in downtown Fayetteville, Arkansas, and he's killing it. And that's great. To me, it's how can you then use the internet and marketing to blow that up? How do you drive more traffic in? Because your rent's not going to go up. You're probably not going to have to hire too many people unless you double, triple your volume.
Yeah.
So, with just a little tweak, that to me is a really good thing. E-commerce is hard. If you don't do e-commerce full time, you don't do e-commerce, especially not in post-Amazon 2018.
And not when you're coming up against Gazelle or some of these other big players.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't beat them on a game of scale, which means you're not going to beat them on price. So, and the question there is, if you can't beat somebody on price on repairing their phone to normal, how it should be operating, what can you offer them that's so great versus Gazelle?
Well, if you're an heir to the Nokia fortune or the Kyocera or whatever, Ericsson, if you're Bob Ericsson, start this business. Great. You've probably got a competitive advantage. If you're just some dude, do something different.
Well, I think to leave you off with something that you can go and do, going on the assumption that you have a store currently, think about you can't go and play in a big ocean. I think it's you can't boil the ocean, but you can boil a pot of water. So you can find, if you, and this is going to take some research, understand that, I know, so I used to repair cell phones just for funsies. I know that an iPhone 5 and a 6 screen, I can get OEM from the manufacturer and fix it for half the cost that a store with overhead has. So maybe create a mobile unit that goes and does it and repairs certain types of phones. You can target that on Facebook, people who own iPhone 5, and then run it that way. So it's boiling small waters. It's not trying to boil the ocean if you want to grow and scale. And if you want to take on a giant, you've either got to have connections or money.
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, I have a friend who's actually done this and been fairly successful with it. So I put on that hat, and shout out to Cole Thornton down in Fort Smith. He's owner of Gadget Grave. He's opened several stores. They do really well. Always highly helpful. But he's an entrepreneur and understands the web. He actually came from a web background, so he has some really good things he's doing online. He's not trying to take over the world, but at the same time, he's servicing more people through
physical
it.
presence too.
Multiple established
multiple
physical
places,
presence, and he's able to leverage that. So, shout out to Cole. There you go. All right, what's next?
Our last question is about viral videos. So this user asks, I understand that viral marketing is slowly getting stronger. Is there a key recipe to creating viral marketing videos?
Well, first, let's do is this an endeavor worth pursuing? So if we had a whiteboard here, what we could do is clear off all the space, and let's do this. Let's list all the viral videos for an e-commerce company that have gone viral just because they're incredible content. And I'll start and then whoever is left holding
Yeah.
the bag has to do some menial task around here. So I'll start. Dollar Shave Club.
Okay.
Your turn. See, we're done. That's it. There are no others. You're not Michael Dubin. He's an incredible stand-up comedian. They
Sketch comedian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. So, but there are ways to go semi-viral, and it starts with, you tell the story. How would you take a almost as good as Dollar Shave Club video and get it to go out?
Yeah, so I'm going to speak to what I know here. I'm not a creative genius, so I can't tell you, the video's got to be good. So we're going to make the assumption that your video is great. There's a few ways that you can create virality, and the term for it is seeding. So video seeding. Talking about Dollar Shave Club, that's what Michael did before he started Dollar Shave Club. So kind of flew naturally there. If you have a small budget, you have to hack it, and I don't encourage you to do this, but if the means come to it, you got to do it. You go and you buy 100,000 views and you buy 100,000 likes on a Facebook video, and you let it run. You turn the video on, you apply the likes to that page ID, post ID, and see what happens there. If you have a little bit more money, a little bit more time, you reach out to tastemakers, influencers, people who have an audience that content would resonate with, and you give them 2 weeks, and you say, hey, I'll pay you a CPM of $15 if you share your video on share my video on your channel, and you do that across an entire width of people, and you post a video, they relink, they share it, and then it just grows from there if the content's good.
Yeah, so the concept of the viral coefficient is important to understand here, because everyone talks about, I want to go viral. And I did as well until I started doing the math on this. So if you look at a viral coefficient, let's say your viral coefficient is 1.01. Well, great, you just took over the world. And what that means is every person that comes in tells another 1.01 people. And then that next generation of people tells 1.01 people, or 1.1, or whatever the number is. And that spirals out of control very quickly, because the internet runs through these cycles very, very quickly, and you end up taking over the planet and getting full exposure. Now, the highest I've ever gotten after you take the first generation, second generation, third generation, that first person that came in infected 0.76 additional people. Now, that didn't go viral, but I'll tell you what it did. It allowed us to spend X dollars of money on marketing and get 76% greater effect. It's unbelievable how well that. But it's just a factor of making your cost per clicks less expensive. So yeah, don't go out and try and create a viral video. It isn't going to work most likely. But do go out and create videos with those elements. Those are good quality, highly engaging videos. And if it's seen by the right people, maybe it does start to go viral within a very small little group of people. And those are the people going to buy your product anyway.
Yeah. I think to wrap this episode up, in this question, when you start having conversations about how to hack an algorithm, how to hack a viral video, you've got to realize that and it goes back to the how do you sell a business from yesterday, if you're creating an amazing, unique thing, it is going to be viral. If you're building the best product wins. You need to focus on the content, you need to focus on the product, you don't need to focus on gaming the algorithm.
That's right, absolutely.
All right. Very good. So, end of the episode, question of the day.
What is that?
You have to ask a question to the audience and the answer.
I've got one.
You have a question?
I want to know what the audience's favorite viral e-commerce videos are, because I guarantee you there's more.
Oh, maybe there is more than one. See, but you already
yeah.
lost. You can't. You still have to do that thing. You have to clean the Aegean stables.
Yeah.
John
whatever.
only plays games that he wins. Apparently.
That is correct.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.